What's up, guys? So I finally did it. On July 7th, 2025, I became a computer engineer. So I'm making this video to let you guys know the most important takeaways that I've learned over the past 4 years. Just to clarify, I'm a Spaniard, so bachelor's degrees here last for 4 years, exactly as they do in the US. And the exact title of bachelor's is not computer science, but rather computer engineering. Anyway, it's basically the same. I would say there's a lot of math in electronics, especially during the first year, so more subjects that maybe traditional engineering fields will typically have, but overall it's kind of the same. So everyone that wants to be like a software engineer studies this degree here. So if you guys want to know more specific stuff, you want me to make more specific videos on certain subjects or even entire years of bachelor, just let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to follow me on X, and let's get into it. So during my first year as a computer science or computer engineering, as we call it here in Spain, the most important things I learned were some basic programming stuff like, for loops and conditionals, arrays and all that. It was completely in C, so it was something totally new for me and for everyone. But they teach you from the very beginning, right? You don't have to have any base level at all. It's just that they're going to explain everything, but they're going to go very fast. You're going to have to catch up. Either that or you're going to be left behind and you're going to fail the class. Like every class, basically. So then a little bit of basic data structures, views, stacks, and all that. A little bit of pointers in C. And basically the rest of the year is math and physics, right? Math is, calculus, integrals, derivatives, discrete mathematics, which was something completely new for us. With combinatorics and set theory, logic, and all that, algebra, statistics, and about the physics part, it was mostly like electronics and a little bit of computer architecture and assembly, but that's shit you're never gonna use with all these logical gates and stuff. And then for the second year, and surprisingly one of the most important ones, I think, you had some algorithms, big O notation, for complexity and shit, more complex data structures, like the typical LeetCode problems using trees and heaps and so on and so forth. Probably the worst subject of the whole bachelor's, which was operating systems. Just crazy nuts, right? We basically had to develop a whole functional terminal for Linux in C, and you had to work with every command, and you had to do the memory management. You had to manage like shared memory and field memory and all that. A lot of stuff with pointers to arrays, pointers to arrays of pointers, shit like that, like crazy syscalls that were only documented in a 2003 forum. Design patterns for object-oriented programming, so it's kind of an introduction to Java. More shit you're not going to use, like more assembly, a more complex subject about computer architecture with all the cycles and the bubbles the processor generates, and more things about gates, blah blah blah. And then a little bit of an introduction to databases and networks. So for the third year I was away, actually it was in Rome, as an international exchange student, so it was a bit different. But most degrees, especially in Europe, share kind of the same content, like not in difficulty or the way they evaluate you, but more or less the same idea, right? So a little bit of cybersec, a little bit of deep learning, which anyway was not a part of my specialty. I chose the software engineering branch, that was a part of the AI branch. But since it was away and you're never going to find exactly the same subjects you would have at your local college, then they let me take that one. Optimization with linear programming, the typical problem where some guy has like a plot of land and he wants to plant carrots and tomatoes, and this one produces this amount of money, this one produces this other amount of money, but they take different periods of time to grow and they're more expensive to plant, blah blah blah. So you have to like optimize the whole thing. Also a little bit of UI design, a little bit of law and business, that was way easier there. Most of the course, but especially those two, were the whole course was way easier in Rome than it would have been in Spain. Now for the fourth year, it's a course completely based on your branch that you chose. So in my case, the software engineering branch, so it was about Scrum and Agile methodologies, a little bit of .NET testing, but it was very like mathematical based. So like 2/3 of that subject was just math that I've never used again. Then I had one of the most useful subjects of the whole degree, which was called like development tools, and they taught you how to use Git like properly, and Jenkins and SonarQube, Redmine that companies really use and you need to know to be a good DevOps guy, and a little bit of an estimation for software projects. So that was basically it. So I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on X. See ya.